welcome to Kerry Cubs Field here on this Tuesday night. It's another edition of the Chicago Cubs Nike RBI High School Summer League Game of the Week. Our matchup featuring 1-1 Ogden against 2 1-1 Lane Tech. Captain later here with James Winkin. And James, we're nearing that end point of the summer right now where obviously the standings matter for a lot of these teams because at the end of the day, they're trying to win ball games. But more importantly, though, these games are about trying to get better. So how do you go about balancing that as an athlete?
I say that if you're trying to balance it as an athlete, of course, all of these games go up and matter. You got to take your at bat one by one, take your pitch one by one, and you got to try your best, but also memorize that you got to push yourself to the limit. You got to try and find that balance all together, and it kind of gets you in through reps. Everything is through a rep. That kind of makes sense. Every rep matters one by one, so you got to go ahead, think about it, take it at one at a time, and then go on from there.
3 balls and a strike as the count to Gonzalez, the leadoff man for Ogden. And he cracks that one on the ground to second base. Balkanski is there. The throw on the first is in plenty of time for the first out of the game. So I'll bring up Adrian Ramirez. Second, Ogden right now only 8 guys in the starting lineup this evening. Lane Tech will be batting 10. You'll see them in the bottom of the first inning. Gavin Joe is the pitcher for Lane. And ready, the first pitch is a fastball called for a strike. That one just misses below. So early keys for a guy like Gavin Joe here, you know, trying to just attack the strike zone. Here's the 1-1. Got on and miss 1 and 2.
Gavin Joe seems to be pretty much in shape attacking that strike zone. Of course, missed that one pitch down below.
That one sent in the air down the left field line. That's a fair ball off the bat of Adrian Ramirez. A hard turnaround first, and he will now retreat back to first. And it's going to be a long single, probably about a 315-foot single there. That's a funky play you don't see too often there, James.
It was a very funky play there. Didn't want to say anything on that. I kind of wanted to let our player just get going, but I did see that he missed first base, unfortunately, so thankfully he was able to get back. Of course, if he wasn't able to get back, there would have been a tremendous out there. Would have been 2 outs. No.
Strike one taken there by Hall. So it's a long single. Ramirez hesitated originally coming out of the box. As they'll check in on the runner, he's back in there with a dive. And I'm almost wondering out of the box, he had a bad read and he missed the bag, James, mainly because he thought that was a foul ball possibly. That was close down the line there and left.
Yeah, it looked like it was a close ball. There's no umpires out there. We only have one home plate umpire, of course, so kind of hard read and also hard to kind of get out of that box and know if that's going to be a fair or foul ball. But that's all player instinct from there.
So 2 strikes, 1 out, and the runner on first. Joe sets. Right-hander fires. Just missed the outside corner for the fastball.
Gavin Joe still seeming to attack that strike zone, though, as much as possible.
Misses a breaking ball, goes to 2 and 2. Joe in the start tonight as he skips in a fastball there. How important, James, is commanding the strike zone with the fastball for a pitcher here, especially in a summer league like this?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, every single pitch matters, especially as the time goes on. These standings are getting closer and closer, so every single pitch matters. You got to fire it down there, just as Gavin did right there.
On the ground to second, that could be 2, but he's safe there at first. Hall legs it out, so it's a fielder's choice. And there's 2 away as Ramirez is retired at second base.
Yeah, Gavin seems to be taking every single pitch one by one, and he keeps having that composure.
So this is John Carlos Herman, the hitter. Cleanup man tonight for Ogden. He's got the runner on first, 2 away now, and he takes a fastball just below the zone for a ball. It's an Ogden team that comes in, like we said, 1 win, 1 loss here on the summer season. Game and a half out of first place, which is currently held in a tie by 2 different teams with 3-0 records. Runner on the move for second. That one gets away from the catcher, and all the way to the backstop it goes. Runner on his way for third. The throw down there is not in time. So a curveball that never really caught the zone now sees a runner on third base here for this Ogden team in the top of the first. Cut on and miss, 2-1. Meanwhile for Lane, 2-1-1. Tie right now for 5th place. But they're only a game out of first though, so if you're looking at the standings, if you're a Lane Tech fan, this is a very crucial doubleheader for them. A 2-2. Swinging a high fly ball over the right side of the infield. Catcher tosses the mask, but he drops it.
Unfortunate series of events. The catcher there with the runner now on third. That could have been that play and that inning right there and then. Unfortunately, just slips right out of his glove.
So now Lane still in search of that third out. That one misses high. Rahman with a good take there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on third. Here's the pitch. Down and away, ball 4, and the inning will continue. That's a really good at-bat there by Herman.
Yeah, very good at-bat there, just keeping his composure, and goes from 2-1 to 2-2, and then going all the way to 4-2 on that walk. Now you got runners at first and third. We'll see what his next batter does right up here.
Anthony Jones, the first left-handed hitter we'll see today from Ogden. Around the corners. You're expecting Herman to go here to second? Yes, he is, as that one's fouled off to the left side.
Maybe a little hit and run by the coaches there. Or
if you're a catcher in that scenario, with the runner on third, I know you have 2 outs. Do you just eat the throw down to second base there?
I would say with 2 outs, you would just eat it at that point because you got a 0-0 ball game. Of course, it's still very early on, but one risky move can develop into a lot more of an inning.
A fastball just misses high. Didn't go there, to your point. Herman on first, Hall on third.
Seeming to take a little bit of a bigger lead.
He's on the move on the 1-1, cut on and miss. There is no throw down. So we have Tony Romo up here in the booth.
You see those big leads, especially as a spectator, you know that they're kind of going. But I mean, you got other guys, especially within the MLB. Some of them they take smaller leads, especially like good like Cruz. He goes a little bit of a shorter lead, but he's got that speed. All depends on speed. Speed is a big game in the MLB nowadays.
Especially the new pitch clock rules. That one's down and away from Jones, and it goes full. First base is unoccupied here with 2 away. Joe just trying to get out of the frame here for Lane Tech unscathed. 3-2. Down the middle for a called third strike, and that will end the inning. Nice job there by Gavin Joe to leave 2 runners in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the first here on the Windy City Sports Network. Bottom one, no score between Ogden and Lane Tech. As Bruce Warren will dig in. He's the right fielder tonight for Lane Tech. He waves and misses at a first pitch curveball from John Carlos Herman, who's the starting pitcher for Ogden. We saw him work a walk there in the top of the first inning. Now he gets to go on the bump, James.
Yeah, and seems to have his composure as well. We'll see how he does there. That was his one ball right over there.
This is down and away. Warren playing right field today.
Warren kind of reminds me of that Rizzo, the way he crowds the plate a little bit.
Favorite team is the Chicago Cubs. But when asked about who his favorite player is, he said not sure.
There's so many players nowadays, you don't know who's going to be the player anymore.
That one just a little bit off the plate, and it's 3-1. We had one a couple weeks ago. This is a good one. In the week 1 game we had a player say a very unorthodox answer, as that one's downstairs, ball 4. They chose a player who played a year and a half of low-level minor league baseball back in the 50s.
Oh, really? Which player was that?
The player in reference. This was a fun one because we really had to make sure that on Baseball Reference, this is the right guy we were referring to here. As that one misses inside. This is Isaac Top playing left field today. Two and 0 the count now. That one gets away, and it's going to be a runner in scoring position for Lane Tech. So Herman, after a first pitch curveball that was called for a strike, has since not found the strike zone.
No, not really at all. He kind of had that one, and then everything's kind of flowing away from him right now. We'll see if he can get back on board here as he winds up to his next pitch.
Downstairs. By the way, the player, that's ball 4, is Mark Cameron.
Cameron. Doesn't even ring a bell. Wouldn't even know even off of playing MLB The Show.
He was born in 1937, according to Baseball Reference.
Do you know if this player specifically has a relative towards the baseball player, or any good connection with them?
I mean, there wasn't a note that I was given that says that. It would make a lot more sense.
That's what I'm thinking, because if a player from that far long ago, there has to be some family connection, or at least something, at least some connection, of course.
We also could just be forgetting this guy has insane ball knowledge. That could also be a factor.
He could just have insane ball knowledge that nobody knows about. But at least now we know, and now it's a little bit public. So
Cut on and miss for a strike. Mark Cameron, by the way, back in 1959, played 6 games for Fresno. It is the Giants at the time is what they were called, of the California League. He went 3 for 20, which gives you a batting average of 150. Runners on the move for third, and they got him. A failed execution on the double steal there. The back end of it was successful. Well, there's the first out defensively for Ogden.
good pick play by the catcher there.
Caught stealing of 2-5. As Matthew Sailors is the hitter. Runner on second, only 1 out. And he cuts and misses at a fastball. And there's 2 away.
Just like that, going from 2 on to 1 on to 2 out. It's a quick transition, going from lane, kind of getting on, and then all the way to there.
There's J.J. Stoner. Lays off a fastball 1-0. It's a lane team that looks to rebuild their program after another city championship they won back in the spring. Second in 3 years as Stoner pulls the head out on a fastball and the count evens out. And he's going to trade for the bats. This is the interesting thing. It's a wood bat league. So these players aren't hitting with the bats they normally would during the spring season. Even if they were playing travel ball as well, these aren't the bats they're normally hitting with.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Wonder what the bat switch was there about. Maybe looking into the different types of wood. We'll see if maybe that's a little bit of an oak instead.
1-2, here's the pitch. Curveball backed up on him. So obviously the different types of woods though also mean that the bat is likely to be, in terms of weight distribution, a lot different. Could be that as well.
I remember back in my days when I played baseball, I loved swinging around the bamboo bats, not just because of how light it was, but also because of the durability.
Oh yeah, it's another one.
About, I think it was like a 2-year warranty piece of wood. First one, unfortunately, did break, but after that, nothing broke after. That was because parents accidentally put it on some concrete and it just snapped immediately. I was like, oh, got to go back and get another one.
You will learn over the course of this game and throughout the summer, if you're listening to James and I, the amount of different broken bat stories that James has is pretty impressive.
Yes, I mean, another one that I had, it was actually a metal bat, and you would think that metal bats don't break at all, but there was one tournament with me and Kevin that we were playing at, and I don't even know how it happened. I think it was just negative drop 13 that I was swinging around. I love those before we had to go into the BB core rules, but those drop 13s.
Gets them, and the bases are full.
Yeah, those drop 13s were lethal until became hollow.
Well, they already are hollow to begin with.
But you know, I'm hollower, if that makes sense.
It does. So we do have a bat here. Now the audience can't see at home. We'll try to get this on camera here in a second. But try to figure out where the ball hit the bat, so that way we can show the audience at home.
Yeah, I want to say it hit kind of more so towards, definitely not the sweet spot. Maybe a little bit more towards the handle area.
2-0 is the count, by the way. This is Devin Koranen. He's the shortstop today for this Lane Tech team. And this is downstairs.
It's kind of like around the handle area.
Where are you guys this weekend?
A little bit. Definitely not the sweet spot, because I would have hit that hand. Definitely towards that.
That would do it right there. That would do it. That one misses, and there's the game's first run.
Definitely change of events again. It's kind of like bipolar weather, if you can like that. You had those 2 outs, and then the bases became loaded. Walked in 1, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. It's always tough to do.
Ball 1 now. This is Peyton Marchand. He's the AH today.
Yeah, I've never been to this place.
Blocked by the catcher.
It's 2-0. Lane Tech on top, 1-0 RBI walk there.
Right. Yeah,
Devin Korana. He's on first, Stoner on third, Mink on second. 2 outs in the frame. Ramon fires. Line in the right center field. That's down for a base hit, and will split the gap. In to score, Stoner. Mink on his heels around third. He will come across to score. That's a 2 RBI single for Peyton Marchand, and it's 3-0 Lane Tech.
No, I don't think that's quite good.
Gapper's right over there. You got 1 and third now.
So Lane, after looking dead to rights after the caught stealing there at third base,
Is that the Bettendorf?
We're now put up a crooked number here in the bottom of the first inning.
Now well started, kind of only noticed to get it going. I think it's great because you meet all the kids from other people from other age groups and everything.
That one goes behind the hitter, or did it hit him? They're saying it hit him, actually. So it will be a hit by pitch. That actually saves a run
Doesn't really matter.
because that runner was coming home,
Fun to then play baseball, stay at a hotel.
had not hit the banner and Max Volkonski. And so he's aboard. Bases loaded once again here for Lane Tech.
Not look like a hit, Volkonski, but I mean, you get away with some things here and there.
But I think honestly, if you're Ogden once again, I think you take that because that's another run that scores.
Yeah,
there.
you gotta do some gymnastics with it.
That'd be limber in that box. Strike one taken there by Blake.
Yeah, you're gonna spend money.
The 0-1. That one's hit hard and fair inside the back, down the left field line. One run in to score. The ball's misplayed in left field, but they'll hold the remaining base runners, so it's 4-0 Lane Tech.
When they're all together. Right.
Another great piece of hitting there, James, by this Lane offense.
Yeah, they're starting to get that contact on the ball. Got 4-0. That crooked number just keeps climbing and climbing.
So now here's the pitcher, and Gavin Joe. He takes strike one. May have checked his swing, but there's no one to appeal to.
See if Gavin Joe could channel in his inner Jake Arrieta. Never really see pitchers hit anymore.
No, you really don't. You see,
Ronnie's been to
obviously, you know, there's a couple two-way guys still in college that'll hit for themselves. Obviously, Shohei.
Of course, you got Shohei, but very, very limited within the MLB. So I'm glad that I'm definitely seeing it here within the high school level.
Yeah, I would go back and just do that.
Joe, class of 2027, listed. Aaron Judge is his favorite player. No, this is downstairs. He's a Yankee fan.
Those Yankees are actually doing really good this year. They're climbing that. It's a tough battle between them and the Orioles a little bit, but I don't know. I think as time will tell, this Yankees team is pretty stacked with especially hitters. They're pitching. They just got Garrett Cole back. They could be a pretty big deal as time goes on.
3-2 runners on the move. That's ball 4, and it's 5-0.
Good eye by Gavin Joe.
It's a pitcher who knows the zone that he's throwing to. They're at the dish. Well, the bases remain loaded, and the top of the order will come back up.
We're doing okay. A little bit above 500.
There's a thing with pitchers, you think that they would know the zone a lot more when hitting, but the stereotypical thing with pitchers is that they're not the best hitters because they always are practicing their pitching.
I mean, to be fair, I was a pitcher in high school, and I did not do well with the stick, at least my senior year.
You give a pitcher a stick, it's kind of like giving a baby a little bit of a random toy that they don't really know what to do with a little bit.
Oh,
That's a
smart.
very interesting yet fair comparison.
It's like instead of like a rattle, you give them like
What, a video game controller?
yeah, like a video game controller. And they're just kind of staring at you for a little bit. But I mean, some pitchers figure it out. They know what they're doing.
3-1's the count with 2 away. Warren walked to lead off the inning. He takes a strike. They're going to throw down to second base on a back pick, and diving back in there safely is Blake. So the bases remain loaded. 3-2, 2 away. We have Volkonski on third, Blake on second, and Gavin Joe, the pitcher, on first.
Always good keeping the base runners awake, though I don't know if I really agree with that move when you have 3.
And that's ball 4. So it's 6-0 Lane Tech here in the bottom of the first inning. Heck of a 2-out rally they're putting on display right now. As Warren works himself a bases loaded RBI walk.
Lots of rallies going on with 2 outs, I feel like. 1 out, you have that, but everything, especially within high school, keeps going with 2 outs.
And it's 7-0 Lane. just like that.
You just keep climbing that ladder, man. Keep climbing and climbing and climbing.
On the wild pitch there, the other two runners did advance safely as well. Isaac Top is the hitter. And that one nearly clips him.
Top getting a little limber there, as we said earlier. Though I feel like this one you would actually take because you got the base unoccupied.
Tips it into the mitt there. He gets a strike back. Herman does. 7-0 with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 1. Lane's offense looking like a machine right now. 2-2 now. This is the 12th batter to come to the plate this inning. They've already batted it around.
I think they could do it for a 3rd time.
That one's inside. It skips up the third base line. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen at a ballpark.
That's the thing about baseball. You never know what type of game you're going to get. Every single day is a little bit different. This game could, I mean, still you're in a 7-0 hole, but you could go as coming back as far as possible. It's still very young in this game.
Play is made over there on the right side of the infield, and that will finally end the first inning. Lane Tech rolling early. They're up 7-0 here on the Windy City Sports Network. Top of the second, Lane Tech on top 7-0. New arm after 1 inning. It's Julian Rodriguez out of the bullpen in place of Gavin Joe, excuse me. Good frame for Gavin in the start. That one's cut on and missed, 1-1. An inning of scoreless one-hit baseball in which he got 1 strikeout and walked 1 guy. Good sign for him.
Yeah, very good sign for Lane Tech as they trying to diminish away Ogden as fast as possible. Maybe even get into that run rule, but don't want to jinx it there.
That's strike 3, a good fastball on the outside corner from Rodriguez, and that's out number 1.
J-Rod getting it going.
Hi, I'm Terry. Nice to meet you.
So with 1 away now, here comes Xavier Perez. Lays off the fastball in the outside corner. Reminder, the run rules here in the Cubs Nike RBI High School Summer League for baseball: 15 after 3, 12 after 4, and 10 after 5. Lays off a good fastball, and it's 2-0.
You know, there's always something about numbers, especially number 7. 7 is always very lucky of a number. Maybe if they hit 3 of them, Lane could have the luckiest rest of his season.
I'm here for it. The question will be, will this be more 7s that Lane puts up in this game than the Bears will all season? As that's ball 4. As Perez works a walk.
I mean, with the Bears, we got some new guys, so we'll see how that season goes, of course. But hey, this is baseball. Let them play. Other sports, though.
Run on the move. That one's laid upstairs. The throw down to second base is into center field. Perez didn't see it. But he'll be content with that first 90 feet there on his half around the bases. This is Diego Salinas.
Great steal there.
Takes a strike, and it's 1-1. As you were saying about the steal?
Yeah, it was a great steal. The catcher unfortunately dumped that a little bit over the heads of their prime second baseman there.
Salinas, class of 2026, going into his junior year at Ogden. First baseman and pitcher. Takes that one. It's 3-1. He's got arguably now one of the greatest now living players as his favorite, now that the baseball world recently lost Willie Mays. Ken Griffey Jr. is his favorite player. Really cool to see what MLB did at Rickwood Field last week. And
yeah, it's a very nice setting of field, and then also a nice ceremony for Willie Mays, who we unfortunately lost a few days ago.
It was just a really powerful day and a really special day for Major League Baseball. It's cool seeing at Rickwood Field they had on the outfield wall, there were banners for the MLB's Nike RBI program as well. So that was cool to see them promoting that as much as possible out there with several bulletins on the retro looking outfield wall. 1-2's now the count. This is like we mentioned, I only had 8 players here, so Lane Tech is providing them a player.
Oh.
Who's batting right now. That one just missed off the corner.
Bringing back that Rickwood Field, I liked how you were talking about RBI and how they're promoting the game of young kids, but then also bringing up the facts of the old hardened times of the Negro Leagues and of about just coming all together as one league all in general. It's a very hard topic to swallow sometimes, especially, but as we grow this game and we keep on growing it, it's very sentimental and very important to talk about the topic of segregation and topic of the Negro Leagues and how they desegregated those and brought about what is now the game of baseball in the MLB, and seeing all these different players from coming of Japan and Cuba and anywhere and everywhere is amazing. It's amazing to see the game just keep on growing and growing.
That one goes behind the hitter Gonzalez, and it's 1-1 as the count. Yeah, that's part of the big goal with the RBI program and what Cubs Nike RBI is trying to do. They're trying to grow the game of baseball while providing opportunities for young athletes everywhere across the city of Chicago and America with opportunities to play baseball. Run scores, throw down to third. That one gets away. And so it's 7-1. Ogden's on the board on what's going to be an infield single and then a throwing error. Well, we jokingly said earlier that you never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark, and that's a play where the first baseman, Stoner, just kind of held it and didn't really know what to do with the baseball.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where you kind of pause, see if you can get to that at least one bag, but it's a little bit tricky. I know you got to kind of have that sense of urgency to get it out of your hands, but sometimes you're stuck in that sticky situation and costs you 2 runs on that play. Unfortunate sense because of the error and because of pausing.
So Ramirez takes that one away for ball 1. Now Salinas on third and Gonzalez on second. Or, beg your pardon, actually 2 runs scored on that play. So it's 7-2. Time is called as the catcher appears to be shaken up.
A little bit of an injury time out there. Hopefully he is okay.
Zach coach coming over to check on him.
Seems to be okay. Just collecting his air. Probably hit him in the chest off of the ricochet.
He's got the wind knocked out of him.
Oh, do you play Wells? That's so fun.
So now Gonzalez on third, 2 out.
So fun.
And the pitch is cut on and missed for a strike.
That's the one thing about being a catcher. Of course, I was never one when I was playing baseball in my league, but
Who's your coach?
being a catcher, you have every single portion about having to be a brick wall behind there.
So 2 runs across, so Ogden gets a safety back. Going back to our football conversation. And that's the end of the top of the second. 7-2 is the score. Lane on top. We'll see what the Lane Tech offense tries to do to respond when we come back. 7-2 as we enter the bottom of inning number 2. Cap Malater and James Winkin here with you as new pitchers enter the game for Ogden, and it's ball 1 upstairs. Matthew Sailors is the hitter. Struck out swinging his lone at bat in this ball game. And Their Lane Tech put up 7 runs in the first inning on just 2 hits as Sailors pops that one foul to even the count up.
Sailors, but he's all alone as the captain right now.
There's always one guy, just from the amount of years you watch the game of baseball or you play of it or you're a part of it in some fashion. That one goes up and in. It's 2-1. There's always one guy in a game like this so far where Lane is up by 5 runs. At one point it was 7. Where when the rest of the team is raking and getting on base, there's always one guy that can't seem to find his way on base. Let's see if Sailors is able to change that. He skies that one to the right side of the infield. Herman makes the catch for out number 1. So Sailors, unfortunately for him, is 0 for 2. A good start for the new Ogden pitcher.
A little bit of a pop fly. Good catch by the first baseman there. Good routine. Can of corn.
This is for a ball to J.J. Stoner. He's the first baseman. Had the weird, wacky ground ball hit to him where he didn't really know what to do with the baseball and he kind of froze. He tries to get a base back and then he grounds that one to first. Herman is there and there's 2 away. He's made both plays so far here in the bottom of the second.
Herman making them plays right now. Let's see if he can get a triple.
Trifecta.
Trifecta right there.
Brennan Mink is the hitter. Hit by a pitch is lone time up. Agudo is the new pitcher for Ogden, by the way. The old school windup and a fastball called for a strike.
Agudo so far is doing a Agudo job. Say so. Very efficient second inning pitching right now.
Hard on the ground to third. Long throw and it is there to get him. So a nice play and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Ogden. And we're going to the third. It's 7-2. Stay with us. This is the game of the week on the Windy City Sports Network. Top of the third inning is upon us, and strike 1 is called.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
To the new hitter
I think they got
for Ogden and Hall. He reached on a fielder's choice. Rodriguez back in there, and he throws a fastball up and in for a ball. Was stranded on third in that first inning for Ogden, which they were shut out, but they did get 1 hit. Hard hit ground ball to short, backhanded by Corona. Long throw is there for the out.
Good contact, but unfortunately better fielding with that.
Nice backhanded play there out at short. So I'll bring up Herman, who walked in, was stranded at second in the first. stole a base on that path as well, on that trip as well. Ogden so far, 2 runs on 2 hits. Lane, 7 runs on just 2 hits as well. And that's where being patient and taking walks really comes back right now to haunt this Ogden team.
Yeah, lots of walks definitely haunting this Ogden team right now. You have that crooked number. We'll see if Ogden can definitely dig their way back. I mean, they got 2 on the board. Maybe they score a little bit of 4 or something here. It all takes one swing of the bat and just keep it going with pitch by pitch, looking to see if we can draw some walks in and trying to steal a play from Lane's playbook.
Strike 2 and the count is 2-2. Vermont laying off everything that's going to the outside corner right now. Here's the next pitch. Rodriguez throws and it's fouled off behind home.
Bigger zone, that means you got to swing it a little bit more pitches, just be a bit more protective there.
2-2. Swing a high fly ball in the right center field. Warren and Mink coming together. It's the right fielder Warren who has it in the alleyway for out number 2. So after Ogden went 3 up, 3 down defensively in the bottom of the second, Lane is now an out away from doing that themselves.
Seems as if Lane is actually stealing a play from Ogden instead.
Anthony Jones is the new hitter.
That pop fly from just recently, that's where communication comes in a lot. That could have been very, very, very troublesome if those 2 collided out in the field. As an outfielder, you're always on your toes and always having to yell and make sure that both people are on the same page. Thankfully, Lane was able to do that right there and then and get that second out.
Roughing it 2. And that scenario, you don't often see in that play happening, a right fielder being able to call off a center fielder like Warren was able to do just then.
No, not really. Center fielder usually is the one that's calling them off. Maybe center fielder just decided he kind of wanted to stroll a little bit on that one.
That one clips him on the curveball, so it's a 2-out hit by a pitch there for Anthony Jones. He's aboard for the first time today.
But yeah, in that instance, you have the center fielder usually being that captain of the outfield, but looked a little bit like the right fielder could have gotten that. He was more closer to the ball, so thankfully they were able to get that situated out. Get that out.
So here comes Agudo. He's the pitcher now for Ogden. 2 outs and a runner on first. Just got handed a bat. I don't think he knew that his spot in the order was up. That one goes off the mid of Rodriguez. He can't pick it up cleanly, and everyone's safe.
A little bit of a bobble. There we go, Agudo. Good hit straight down the middle.
He ruled an error on the pitcher, Rodriguez.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry, we just had the official scoring here a moment ago, so you're fine. You like the hustle, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of those tricky plays sometimes. It's like scores will say otherwise, but sometimes you think it's a hit.
Left side's Corona makes the catch, and that will end the frame. So Lane, another scoreless frame defensively, and they go back to the dugout trying to get some more runs. They're up 7-2 here on the Windy City Sports Network. bottom three. It is 7-2 Lane Tech still, as the team in Forest Green look to build upon their 5-run advantage after a 7-run first inning. They went quietly, though, in the last of the second, as Devin Corana stands in and grounds that one hard, but foul just to the left of the bag, third. Brandon playing short today, given an RBI for a bases loaded walk. And it's funny, James, because you think about the name RBI, runs batted in. Well, you walk a run home, you still get credit for the RBI.
Yeah, it's very funny that you say that, because usually when you think of runs, you think of hits, but that's not always the case, especially with how the game of baseball works, according to whoever made that rule with how RBIs are credited for. You have, when bases are loaded and get a walk in, you get an RBI.
There's a very spirited debate about that on Twitter last night, with one of the Major League Baseball games ending in an RBI bases loaded walk in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yes, I believe I saw one of those. It was one of those at the Cubs game, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was. And there was a fun spirited debate about whether the guy for the Giants should actually get the RBI or not, because it didn't actually drive in a run. That's a nice play at third for the out. A hard hit one hopper that he snagged and threw perfectly across the diamond. And that'll bring up Peyton Marchand.
You know, on the show, the video game, they usually say perfect for hitting, but that was a perfect throw right there.
Here's Peyton Marchand, who probably had a perfect hit there in the first inning with that 2 RBI single to right center field. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. That was just one of 2 hits. Lane, despite having 7 runs on the scoreboard, only have 2 hits. That's hit hard down the right field line, but way foul.
And lots of those RBIs actually coming in, of course, from walks, as we were saying earlier. If I were to pick a side in the debate, though, I would say that the runs batted in situation should be hits, because if you're hitting the ball and you're getting someone in, just from that standpoint alone, I feel like it's a little bit more fun that way than just saying that I walked a guy and get an RBI off of that.
2 away as the play is made by the third baseman yet again. See, I'm torn, because part of me is like, you know what, you still drove in a run because you worked a walk with the bases loaded. The other part of me also agrees with you that the name is batted in. However, you are the batter and you walked, so you can find a technicality in it. This is popped up and just foul off the left side.
Big ricochet as you hear that. Kind of like our thunder strikes from last night over skies in Chicago.
Yeah, the weather cleared up. I mean, there was still some serious rain this morning here in Chicago as well. Thankfully, we were able to get all the scheduled games in today here at Kerry Cubs Field. Lane and Ogden play the second game of a double header following the conclusion of this first game.
Didn't
Strike
really
2.
know earlier on today if we were going to have a game or not, just because of how rainy it was and stormy still at 9 a.m. this morning. But thankfully, of course, it kind of cleared up. There's still a little bit of scattered clouds all over, but thankfully no rain or thunder or lightning.
Popped up and caught by Herman to end the frame. So back-to-back, 3 of 3 innings. Segudo has retired all 6 batters he's faced so far. And that is the end of the third. It's 7-2 Lane Tech. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Visitors' half of the fourth inning is underway as Diego Salinas swings and misses at a first pitch strike. Martinek Anton is the new pitcher. Check swing, and it's nothing and two quickly. Salinas worked a walk, later came around to score in the Ogden second. Takes that one downstairs for a ball. In which Ogden got both of their runs on just one hit. They also benefited from a Lane Tech error as well. 2-2.
See if the baseball gods could be in favor of Ogden and help them out with a little bit of some more errors.
Not bad here by Salinas. He's worked the count back up to full now.
Going down from 0-2, climbing that ladder, 3-2. See what he does on this next pitch.
Payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Great at bat there from Diego. My goodness.
Well, you get one from Diego, and now you just got to build and get your at bats one by one. See if Ogden can then again come out of this hole that they're in. 7-2. They're being down 7-2.
Connor Mills. This is the Lane Tech substitute player once again. Struck out swinging in the second.
Playing for the other teams, playing for the Ops right now. As kids in my generation would say, I guess.
1-1's the count. Salinas expands his lead off first, does not go. That one gets away into the backstop. It will go. Salinas parks the brakes at second base. And so it's a 2-1 count. Runner on second after the wild pitch.
Seems that brick wall, you notice the catcher just had a little bit of a wedge.
A piece of that one just to knock it down. And it's 3-1. Top of the order, and Gonzalez on deck. Strike 2. Good fastball there on the outside corner. Rodriguez's day comes to a close, by the way. 2 innings of 2-run baseball, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He did hit a man as well. That one skips down and gets away from the catcher. To third goes Salinas. And now they're on the corners here for Ogden, and there's still nobody out. This is a big spot here and a big opportunity for this top of the order now to come through here if you're Ogden.
Yeah, especially right now with 0 outs. You got Mans on the corners. We'll see what happens here.
On the move for second. That one is down and away, and it's an easy stolen base there.
That's one where I would kind of eat it there because you got that man. There's 2 on the corners, as we were talking about earlier. Kind of got to eat those ones, especially now when you have a cushion at 7-2 lead. So kind of figuring that all out. It's all about strategy, though.
Strike is called there, and it's 1-1. Ready, fires. That one's lifted in the air, left field. It is caught there by Top out there. Backing up, his throw will go into third base, and no one can advance. Nice play out there in left field, and he just saved a run right there for Lane Tech.
Saved a run, maybe 2 there. Great play by the left fielder out there. A little bit of a routine, but able to get that in as quick as possible. Person on third was able to tag up. Not quick enough.
Misses away for a ball. Adrian Ramirez, the hitter.
Yeah. I see how you got confused. Yeah.
1-0, tipped into the mitt there. We talked about the wooden bats, though. Ramirez going with the all hot pink bat there. It's a fun look. Brings a nice little fun vibe to it.
Yeah, fun little vibe, a little bit of that Mother's Day vibe. Love those Mother's Day bats that you all have in the MLB. Colorful bats are especially a thing of beauty. I especially love those custom bats. I don't know if anyone has caught specifically Bryce Harper. He had a bat specifically customized for his London series. It was the Fanatic bat. I want to say that he was in, the Fanatic was specifically in one of those hats that
The guard.
the guard,
The guards,
the
yes.
guards from Great Britain.
Little bloop shot, that's down, and that's going to be a hit and a run for Ogden. Ramirez gets himself an RBI single. And it's 7-3.
That one there was a good little floater, and then shortstop kind of froze up, didn't know if the person at second was going to go, but some good base running there. Very situational baseball.
2 on, only 1 out for Hall. Fastball taken for a strike. Also saw at the collegiate level the pencil bats.
Yeah, pencil bats are a big thing that they have been bringing out, especially this year. I think they just added that actually into the show.
High fly ball down the right field line. That's a fair ball. In to score is the first man, the trail runner on his way for third. It's a close play, and he is out. The ball came flying out at the end of the play, and now the home plate umpire is going to overrule himself and call him safe. He didn't see that the ball came out there originally. So it's an RBI double there for Hall, and it's 7-4.
A little one-out rally here. Hall with a great piece of contact on that one, as looked like a person at third was going to be out, but thankfully the ball had other plans, popped out. That's the thing about baseball, you gotta always squeeze it into your glove, but sometimes it just has other plans.
Base hit left field. In to score is Ramirez. Hall on his heels around for the plate. Top's throw is up the line. It's a 1-run game on the 2 RBI single there from John Carlos Herman.
Carlos Herman kind of redeeming himself there, especially as he didn't have the best pitching outing at first, but now he's been able to have that double right up there, score 2, and just like that, it's a 1-run game, as you were saying earlier, Kevin.
This was a 7-0 Lane Tech lead after the first inning of play. Ogden has since then outscored Lane 6-0 since the start of the top of the second inning.
That's the beauty of baseball. As I was saying earlier, you got 7 runs. You think it's going to be a huge blowout, but then Ogden just comes clawing all its way back with all of its glory, and now we got a 1-run game, and Agudo with some great pitching as well on Ogden's side, getting those 2 scoreless innings, 6 up, 6 straight down.
So now with the tying run on second base, Anthony Jones becomes the new hitter. And to your point, though, James, we were talking earlier in the second inning about what the run rules were just because of how dominant Lane looked the first inning and a half or so. Jones lays off of that one, and it's a ball. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. And he was stranded at second base. 1-0. Popped up to short. And it's dropped by the shortstop, Corona. Throw to first, not in time.
Baseball gods awarding Ogden with another error.
A rare misplay by the left side of that Lane Tech infield, and now Agudo comes on up now. Go-ahead runs on first.
Agudo doing some really great pitching. Let's see if he can get some good contact as well here.
He reached on an error in the third inning. He's 0 for 2 officially as he takes that one well below the zone.
But as I was saying earlier, Kevin, it's all about taking it pitch by pitch, and that's the thing with, especially as time goes on with this season, you got to always keep it close and know what's coming next.
Misses away. Agudo is the 8th hitter to come up to the plate here in this inning. 2-ball count here. And he's squaring the bunt. Pulls it back, and it's a strike.
Looking for a little bit of possibly squeeze play, maybe there.
2-1. That one is inside. And the bases will be full. So now Xavier Perez becomes the new hitter here. Bases loaded, only 1 out.
You know, situational baseball here, I wouldn't go for a bunt as of anything right now. I think you're going a little bit swinging the fences, especially with you got 1 out.
Perez pops this one up. Infield fly is in effect out there. Do they get him at second? No.
Really big pause from everybody looking at the umpire just to see again, double check to see if the person at second was out or not.
So infield fly rule was in effect, and that was the call. I think the conversation, though, was obviously on the throw back to second base where Jones is there. Jones is ruled safe, and so now with 2 out here, for the second time this inning, Diego Salinas will come to the plate. He led off the inning with a walk, later came around to score.
The infield fly rule is really tricky to me sometimes. As a fielder, kind of realize you got people all on base. Do you just drop the ball and then kind of look at the runners and chuck it to one of them to get another out, or do you just catch it on that one?
It's a good question. 0-1. That one's fouled back, and it's a good question because when you think about it, I mean, you let it drop, it's still going to get called for an out because obviously they're trying to avoid the guys letting it drop to get an easy double play.
Yeah.
0-2. That's strike 3. A long inning in which Ogden was able to put up 4 runs of their own, but they leave the tying and go-ahead runs on base. To the last of the 4th we go. It's 7-6 Lane Tech here on the Windy City Sports Network. Last of the fourth, here we are. It's 7-6 Lane Tech after Ogden has made this one heck of a ball game with a 4-run top half of the inning. But Agudo hits the first batter of the inning on the first pitch.
That is unfortunate. Fortunately, not what you want to do on your first pitch, especially as your team just gave you 4 runs there, trying to hold off Lane to score none and taking that bottom half and scoring some themselves, or top half, excuse me.
So now here's the number 9 spot in the order. Runner on first base, no one out. First pitch. Looping pitch for a ball, throw back down, and Herman not able to get the tag in there in time. Gudo so far has thrown 2 scoreless innings of baseball. The hit by pitch a moment ago is the first base runner to reach here for Lane against Agudo to this evening. Time and a balk is called. So a balk there, so now a runner in scoring position for Lane. That's a crucial insurance run here.
Yeah, very crucial insurance run there. Agudo, unfortunately, again, hit him. First pitch of this next inning that he had. Now he's at second. We'll see how he holds up.
That one caroms away from the catcher, and a third goes the runner.
Especially as these innings kind of go to the later half of the game, you got to be careful with where you're putting your pitches, and especially now that you have a man on third.
Two ball count on the way. That one is tipped off the balloon chest protector of the home plate umpire. Old school.
Very old school. I remember back in my days, of course I'm not even that old though, but some of these umpires, they have the balloon chest protector.
High fly ball in the left center field. That's a base hit. In the score easily comes Blake. Runner on his way for third as the relay throw will not be in time. It's an RBI triple, and it's 8-6 Lane Tech.
Oh, baby, a triple. That was a deep one into the gap. A little bit of left center field, kind of reaching all the way to that fence of 363. Not too sure where specifically it landed, probably more of the range of 330, 340.
Here's Cruz Warren now. Way out in front of a curveball.
But going back to the umpires that have the balloon chest protectors, usually you don't really see those anymore. Now they always have the chest protectors that they wear under their shirts, so you're really seeing that camouflage, but this one is very much out there.
1-1. Got on and missed. And it's 1-2. You see it a lot if you go back and look at highlights from pretty much mid to late 1970s and before then. That's when they're in their heyday. That's tipped fouled back. And then the 80s rolled around. That's when you see a lot more. You still saw it from time to time in the 80s, but most of the umpires then switched to the chest protectors underneath the collared shirts that they all wear.
I remember when I was doing umpiring, actually, just as a little side gig, I wore mine actually over. So it's a little bit of a weird change, especially you see an umpire usually wearing it under their shirts. But I don't know why. I kind of like that style. Made me feel a little bit of a catcher, even though I wasn't one, and instead making the calls instead of making the calls of balls and strikes instead of making the calls to the pitcher of what pitch to throw.
So if one away now, here's Isaac Top. Hard hit ground ball. Herman will come to the play with it. Runner coming home, and he is safe. The ball was dropped there by the catcher, and it's 9-6.
Herman makes a really great throw, but unfortunately the catcher wasn't able to just hold on to the ball and tag him out. But you have those things, especially in baseball. You just gotta hold on to it, man.
So now here's Matthew Sailors, 0 for 2 today.
See if Matthew can finally get on base.
Lays off that one, snap throw back to first, and he's safe. Close play, another great throw behind the dish.
Really great throws by the catcher. He's been making those snap throws. I think that's his second one of this inning.
1-0. Sailors yanks that one just foul.
Just a little bit pulled. Wouldn't call that one a slicer, though.
He hooked it.
Very much more so a hook. I think a slicer kind of goes more so inwards, and then a hook goes outwards. If he hits 3 in a row, maybe we call him Captain Hook as his nickname.
Balk there, and he's lucky. That would have been an inning-ending double play.
Very, very lucky there. Unfortunately, it was called a balk. We love those pitches that end up being the double play, but you got to make sure you're set before anything.
1-1 count with 1 out, yeah. Gotta be set.
Maybe we see a little bit of pick play to second. See the second baseman creeping a little bit in towards second base.
2-1. That's above the strike zone. They're going to pick out to second and back in there safely. So you're 2 for 2 on calling that.
Yeah, I guess you could call me the Tony Romo of RBI baseball right now. I mean, these kids, some of the things that they're doing right now is a little predictable, especially as a coach. You see him creeping in. You always got to be on your toes as a runner.
It's ball 4. So Sailors is aboard for the first time today, so not the hook.
No hook.
As J.J. Stoner now stands in.
You know, in baseball, hook is something that you hit, but in songs, it's usually the catchy lyrics.
You are correct again.
It's a little fun fact out there for our viewers.
He's James Lincoln. I'm Captain Malater. Thanks for being with us here on this Tuesday night. That one's ground to the left side. Could be 2. They stake it to the bag. Himself at third. On to first. It will be. Inning ending 5-3 double play. And that's the end of the 4th. But Lane Tech gets a couple of big insurance runs. They lead it 9-6 through 4. We're back underway with the top of the 5th. Jacob Capola is the new pitcher for Lane Tech, and he misses down and away to his teammate, who has decided to play for the other side today out of necessity for Ogden, who only has 8 rostered players in the building. Here's the 1-0.
What you call a little bit of friendly fire.
I've always wondered, if you're a coach watching this unfold, like, what do you want to happen here?
I feel like as a coach, you kind of want your guys to succeed, but also as someone else, as the other guy on the other team, you're kind of rooting for him inside your head. So outside, you're rooting for the person on the bump, and inside, you're rooting for the guy that is with your team but is batting for the other team.
3-1.
Kind of that 50-50, maybe 60-40 of cheering out and inside those little bottled up emotions. Or if you're like Anthony Rizzo in 2016, a glass case of emotions.
He's a couple of guys on this field's favorite player, Anthony Rizzo is, as Gonzalez comes back up for his 4th trip to the plate today. Fastball just off the corner. And it's 1-0 Gonzalez, a 1-for-3 showing on the scorecard with a single in the second, which is sandwiched by a ground out to second and a fly out to left.
Yeah, lots of these guys have really favorite players, especially Rizzo is a native Cub, now on the Yankees, doing pretty good. Unfortunately, on the injured list as of late, Yankees bringing up Ben Rice as their new first baseman. He's been doing pretty well.
So all the players who are playing this league for both baseball and softball list their favorite players and favorite teams. Is that one misses downstairs? So a player who's not playing in this game is a player for Team Omega Delta. His name is Jose Arteaga. He's a class of 2027 product from Mount Carmel. And he put, and I kid you not, he put for his favorite player, quote, all the Cubs, end quote.
So if you're thinking all the Cubs, I wonder if he has a certain ranking in his mind that we have to come up and interview him about, because you can't just, as someone who loves the Cubs, I feel like you can't just have them as all of your favorites. It's a little bit like saying that you like the MLB, but you choose one team and you say all 30 of them are your favorite.
That's an interesting perspective.
It's
I get where you're coming from, though. I know exactly the thought process behind that, and it makes sense.
because you have, I mean, at some point you have to have some sort of a ranking. You can't just have like. So you're saying that like Kosuke Fukudome was your favorite player, but then also you got Anthony Rizzo, you got Derek Lee, so many greats on the Cubs.
Snap throw, Blake's throw not in time. Safe there at first is the substitute from Lane.
And this is not a diss to the player or the Cubs at all. I totally agree with all the Cubs being your favorite, but there is, to some degree, you have to have one player as your favorite. Like for me, I would say my favorite Cub, it would probably have to be Kosuke. Just coming up as Asian American and seeing him, seeing some representation. It was really nice growing up, and especially having that as my first jersey. Nowadays, I don't really rock any Cubs jerseys, but I rock the Cubs T-shirts. Most recent one is Ian Happ.
Caught there by Capola, and this is going to be 2 to end the inning. So nice execution there of the PFPs, and we'll go to the last of the 5th, 9-6 Lane on top. More on Cubs T-shirts with James Winkin when we come back. Last of the fifth upon us. So have some clouds as well. 9-6 Lane on top. Braden Minsk is the hitter. 0 for 1 for hit by pitch. And Mink, excuse me, it's Braden Mink. Takes that one down and away. So we were talking before we went to break about T-shirts.
Yeah, so I mean, I have a little bit of a T-shirt collection now with the 2016 World Series team.
It's a good collection to have, as that one's caught out in right field for the first out.
But as being a fan of Chicago teams, especially Chicago Cubs, I just can't trust myself buying jerseys anymore.
Do you have bad luck where every time you buy a T-shirt, because I know of several Cub fans who have bought T-shirts or jerseys of a player, and then they get traded on later. Is that what you're referring to here?
Yes, I think that's what I'm referring to. But the one player that we have on our team still, specifically the Cubs, is Ian Happ, and he seems to be. I mean, last year was definitely an up year. We'll see what happens within these later months of summer baseball with Ian Happ, but he's definitely been one of our upsides, and I think like that T-shirt hasn't been a curse. But then you got other T-shirts like, unfortunately, Javi Baez.
That's a long fly ball out of deep left center field, long run, and the catch is made right in front of the 363 sign out there in left center for out number 2.
Amazing jets that guy has out there in center.
That was PCA-like.
Very PCA-like, very much so. Looking up, tracking, and sprinting all the way. Where's that ball?
2 away now, and here is Peyton Marchand.
Thankfully, going back to that catch by the center fielder, we don't have any ivy, so there's no distinction. There's no bamboozlery, if that's even a word. With the wall, as you can see, that it's a gated fence, so you know it's coming. Well, as with ivy, you can't really tell if it's going to be hard. You know it's going to be hard.
Well,
but you have that deception with the ivy.
Yeah, but I feel like the deception part. There's very quick realization that behind this ivy, it's, oh no, here's a brick wall right behind the ivy.
Yeah, you sense that especially within April when the ivy isn't there, but once it gets to the summer months and you get a little bit of greenery, or more of that greenery, you're not able to sense it as well as other parks. Of course, like other parks, they have their padding, but you still have those metal and brick walls behind all that padding in other ballparks.
Dual walk there from Marchand, and the inning continues. I'll bring up Max Balkonski. He's the second baseman for Lane. Plays off that one below the zone. He's 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. 9-6, 2 outs, bottom 5. Lane Tech 3 outs away defensively. Runner on the move, up and in, throw down to second, not in time.
A little bit of a swipe tag there, trying to get a runner. I feel like when you're in the box, it kind of feels like the Matrix, especially when you're trying to dodge these pitches sometimes.
That one's pulled, just foul. Volkonski nearly had extra bases. Instead, strike one.
Volkonski trying to open up the floodgates.
That one caroms in out of the man of the catcher. Down to third. On the play goes Marchand.
You know what? As a catcher, what do you kind of do in those situations when you have to kind of take off that mask at like a pass ball specifically? Are you taking off that mask always, or are there some instances where you're kind of just keeping it on and trying to track the ball first.
I would think it's got to just be instincts at that point.
Very
There's
much
just
so
no thought to it.
instincts.
3-2 is the count, 2-away the pitch. Ball 4. And Volkonski works the walk.
Good eye by the batter there.
Because there are some plays in which the catcher won't remove his mask just based off situation. I think it's really just instinct whether they feel they need to get rid of the mask or not. So now they'll bring up the catcher in Blake, who he's did a great job back to the behind the plate defensively and also at the dish. Reached base twice, 2 runs scored. He's driven in a run as well, as that is in the dirt, and a runner will take off for second, and he's in there without a challenge of a throw.
A little bit high up there.
2-0. That one is tapped foul.
One thing I like about these games is that we don't have a pitch clock, but it's still going by pretty fast, especially when you have the time limit.
That one's ground. What a catch!
What an amazing catch by the third baseman over there. Diving play just to end the inning.
Lay it out, took away extra bases from Blake and ends the inning. What a great catch. Lane, 3 outs away defensively, but Ogden's got some momentum going back into that dugout. We'll be back in a moment. Wayne Tech 3 outs away from victory here on this Tuesday night. Cavalier, James Lincoln with you here for the Windy City Sports Network. And a first pitch fastball just misses off of the plate for ball number 1 to Hall. RBI double his last time up in inning number 4. That was a good frame for the Ogden offense. 4 runs on 3 hits, and they sent 10 men to the plate.
Amazing rally by Ogden in that specific inning over there. See if they can start it up with Hall again.
3-0 is the count. They need some base runners here, though. Down by 3. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4, and the leadoff man reaches.
That was a great eye by Hall. You know, coaches usually say, and statistics will also say, that if you walk the first batter, it's usually sense of a few runs coming.
Big swing there from Herman for strike 1.
He had the right idea there. That one's just right in the zone. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make contact with that one, though.
Count is 0-1. Runner on first. Runner goes. That is Upstairs, throw down. Hall may have came out the bag, but he did not. And it's a runner on second base now for Ogden.
One of those awkward slides that unfortunately causes you to have some weird movement, but thankfully Hall was able to stick with it, stay on the bag. Kind of looked like a slip and slide a little bit.
When you have all that turf pellets that are all clumped up together, as the strike is called there on Herman, 2-2, it's a lot harder to stop the slide.
Yeah, I mean, playing on this field, especially when back in high school, I remember it was very easy to slide here, but also very hard to stop sliding. So what I would do, especially when I was younger and playing baseball, I would start my slide about probably almost 2/3 of the way to the bag. Just kind of slide all the way there. It also helps, especially when there's the ground is a little bit wet.
That's strike 3 called, so Herman is retired, and here's Anthony Jones now. One gone here in the inning. First pitch. Popped up, foul, just left of home.
Very thankful for net right behind the press box. I don't know if some of our viewers have seen that one video of one of
Yeah, just inside on a fastball. Jones fortunately able to duck out of the way of that one.
there was one video of Yankees announcer. He was calling I think it was the last out of the Yankees game. This was a while ago. The foul ball actually hit him right in the forehead and stuck with it. Kept calling the game and called them out.
They got the runner hung up. The throw to the plate is in time to get him. Hall got caught in no man's land, and he bit for the plate. Nice job there by Sailors and Blake to connect to cut down the runner, and there are 2 away now here in the top of the 6th.
Hall trying to do a little bit too much of a Javi Baez, Trey Turner impression, trying to score there at third, but unfortunately was caught up and thrown out by the catcher.
So 3-2 now with 2 away.
Down to the last out.
Strike away for Capola. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that'll do it. So Lane Tech uses a 7-run first inning to power themselves to victory here this evening, winning by a score of 9-6. So a great job by them. And really, James, that first inning really set it up because Ogden did a great job settling in throughout the game. But unfortunately for this Ogden team, 7 runs in the first really hurt them.
Yeah, 7 runs in the first really hurts anybody, any team with a crooked number, especially in that first. It's hard to dig and claw all your way back. Ogden did put up a really great fight, and it was a close game going 6-7, but unfortunately, Amuda wasn't able to keep up with his stuff in his third inning after his 6 up, 6 down. So unfortunately, Ogden comes away with the loss, and thankfully Lane comes away with the win. And both sides, it was kind of a battle, but Lane ends up being on top.
So that's going to do it for us here for the Winning City Sports Network. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to social media for the announcement of tomorrow's softball game of the week for you. We'll be live from Lil Cubs Field tomorrow. And we hope that you join us then. For our entire great crew, alongside James Winkett, Ivan Capmolator, saying so long from Kerry to Cubs Field. Your final score, Lane Tech 9, Ogden 6. You've been watching the Chicago Cubs Nike RBI High School Summer League Game of the Week on the Windy City Sports Network.